Isaiah Pacheco. It is good, good, good. Who got him? Chris Jones got him. Mahomes looks that way. He's going to go wide open left side. Kelsey, touchdown. Finding a way to win. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Chiefs Rewind show. Mitch Holthus with you, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. The National Football League, yeah, we love fantasy football, but you have to find a way to win. That's what the Chiefs did here. Matt, I'm going to lead you into this. Only 286 yards of offense. The Chiefs were 1 of 8 on third down, -2 in the giveaway takeaway, and they win the game 26-25 on a walk-off field goal by Harrison Butker. What about this team learning and finding ways to win?
It's incredible stuff. It's truly a championship mentality. It's a character in this team that's been built over the last several years. These things are built in training camp, and then we see them come to fruition here in games like this. This was not pretty by the Chiefs by any means. A lot to clean up from this game, but still to find a way to win it is huge. And to beat the Cincinnati Bengals always feels a little bit sweeter.
Ooh, and now they're 0-2. I'll get to that later in this show. But the fact that the Chiefs were able to get a scoop and score, and this goes back to last year to me. The Chiefs won 5 regular season games and 3 of the 4 playoff wins when Patrick Mahomes was under his passing average of his career. So this mentality the Chiefs have now really started a year ago.
It did, and that scoop and score by Chamari Connor was so awesome. Think about the moment in the game. Patrick Mahomes had just thrown his 2nd interception. The Bengals have all the momentum in the world. Well, Chamari scoops up that fumble after, I believe, Mike Dana forced it.
Mike Dana stripped it, and Kirk stood him up, so Kirk got the sack.
And Chamari runs it back for, what, a 38-yard touchdown. Just amazing. So not only did the Bengals get no points off that takeaway, the Chiefs actually get 7 points just a few moments later. So just a huge play there by the Chiefs. We talked about how good this defense was last season, but what's one area that could get better? It's explosive plays, it's scoop and scores, it's pick sixes, things like that. We got a huge one from Chamari here today.
And again, a big sack by Connor later in the game as well. So, but there's stuff on offense to talk about, but we're hopefully going to have Chamari later on. And Wanye Morris gets a big man, as Austin Woodard called it, thick 6. So let's go to the podium and see what Andy Reid thinks.
All right. Really, the only major injury would be Pacheco with his ankle. We'll just have to see. He's having some tests done on it now, x-rays, all that stuff. So I don't have anything for you exactly what it is, but he came out with the ankle. Thanks to our fans. They did a great job today and hung with us, highs and lows, and they stayed right with us. Can't say enough about Butker and that kick. You know, he's so reliable, and we just appreciate how he goes about his business. And as good a kicker as he is, he's even a better person. So I appreciate him all the way around. And Ariza jumped in and had a big punt right there at the end, which was great to see at a very important time. And then the tackles by Bolton and Tranquil and Jay Reed. I mean, they were the leaders in that area. And the turnover with the touchdown ends up being huge to Dana and Wharton on the fumble there. So, and then, I mean, this can go on. Pacheco had a big day, 19 carries for 90 yards, 5 receptions for 21 yards, so busy day there. Rice, again, had a nice day there. Patrick always has a good day, comes through in the clutch. He had some big, our best plays were called back, but it was a great job by him as we went. So what do we learn from this? Turnovers, they kill you. They very seldom give you an opportunity to win the game. So if you come out with a win with 3 turnovers, that's a plus, but we got to take care of business there. And then penalties, when you're all of these things on the plus side of the field, those end up being points, whether it's a field goal or whether it's a touchdown, those are points. So we've got to make sure we take care of business with that and improve. And we had some young guys that end up with some of these penalties, and they'll learn from it. And Kingsley, he's going against arguably one of the best defensive ends in the league. It'll be a great experience that he can put away in here and learn from. And and I end up taking him out of the game. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take a step forward. So, Wanye came in and did a nice job. Now he also had a penalty there, but very seldom are you going to get a guy like that right there that you're playing against. And what you want to do is learn from it and move forward. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
That last drive, how far did you feel like you needed to get into Bucky's range?
Yeah, I was like, I feel more comfortable around the 32, so, and in, but he could have made it longer. Yeah, but I've normally when you're at the 35, 40, somewhere in that area, you're pretty confident that he's gonna drill it.
Just elaborate on what you think, how bad you might think it is with Pacheco, and what's your sense?
Yeah, I don't actually know right now. So I've just got to see what they're doing, all the stuff right now. So I haven't really had a chance to talk to him or anything there about it.
And with Kingsley, you mentioned that already. Your experience, what's that like when you have to do that or do that to take him out?
Yeah, it's a great learning experience. Sometimes if you get beat a couple different times and you're a young guy, you haven't quite figured out the answers to the test there on how to fix it, and your coach talks to you, and then you got to settle down, and that happens. So you go back and you learn from it, and Wanye will do the same thing. He did a nice job jumping in there, and with the exception of the penalty. So.
You talked in the past about how Pat and some other guys kind of thrive under pressure. They like those kinds of situations. What about Butker? I mean, do you feel like obviously he's done well. Do you feel like he handles those situations? He wants those situations?
I hope we all are that good under pressure. He does a great job with it. Yeah.
You mentioned the turnovers. I know you haven't gone back and watched everything, but what did you see on Patrick's first interception from field level?
The guy got him. He was waiting on Kels just to break in. Kels broke in there, and he didn't see it. It was a cover 2 look, and that backside linebacker, experienced guy, snuck right into the pitcher there. So he doesn't miss many of those. But it was.
Carson had the fumble. You got him back in the game, and he made some big plays for you. You like to do that with guys.
Yeah, he's another young guy. You got to keep the ball up against your body in this league. He was down low, and he had 2 hands on it, but it starts rising up, and all of a sudden you get it punched out. It's something you can learn from. You can't do that at this level. So he came back and he ran hard for us.
Andy, we talked a lot about Patrick or Harrison, any number of guys, what their level of sort of faith is in those moments. How about you on 4th and 16? What's happening inside?
Well, there's not a whole lot other than you want to get it. You're hoping that it's a completion. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's about all you can do at that point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing else. I mean, you're in the mix. So, I wasn't dreaming about going to the Bahamas at that time. So.
Coach, on a day of threw it a little bit, Shamari Connor seemed to be a spark. Justin Reed.
Yeah, you know what? I should have mentioned him because he had a heck of a game. Heck of a game. He was all over the place, and he's playing good football right now. So,
is your expectation to go right back to Kingsley next week?
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go back and look at the tape, and I'll talk with Coach Hack, and we'll go from there.
Last three, certainly, Rob. Coach, a little more gratifying when you see a big man touch.
Yeah, that was good. No, he did a nice job. I probably should have mentioned that too. That was a great job. He when you're that open. Sometimes you can freak out if you're not. He secured it, and it was all good. That was great.
Coach, during the 2-minute warning, Harrison went out to about the 50-yard line, picking up some grass, throwing it in the air, just getting ready in case that situation came. Is that just the kind of guy he is prepared for?
Yeah, so he'll tell you that's his job. I mean, to figure out all that stuff. Those guys are half weathermen, so they know the wind, they know the weather and all that, and they've got to calculate everything in. He's practices kicking in our stadium, so he knows exactly how it swirls, and he does a good job with that. So, yeah.
Just people always want the name of a play. You got a name for Wanya's touchdown? Has that got a cute name for everyone?
No name. No. Too early in the season. All right. Good.
I've got a guy that helps me in the booth named Austin Woodard. He loves offensive linemen. He called it a thick six touchdown. Not a pick six, a thick six. Wanye Morris. Okay, walk us through. You're in tackle over tackle. What were you thinking if they knew that was coming to you, right?
Yeah, I knew it was coming to me. So when I lined up, I seen they were playing gaps, and he was completely lined over me. They left me completely uncovered. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, I really might be wide open for this touchdown. So I'm talking to myself. I'm like, okay, when you get out there, just be cool. Don't be nervous. Just catch the ball. Just catch the ball. So that's, hey, it was in the air for like 10 minutes, though. So what were you thinking when it's in the air? Like, is everything slow motion? Everything was slow motion. I was just telling myself, please don't drop this ball and embarrass yourself in front of everybody because there's nobody around you right now.
Oh, man. Did you ever have anything like that going back to, like, Pee Wee football?
I used to run the ball back in Pee Wee. Yeah, I'm quite the athlete. I'm telling you, I'm quite the athlete. But my last touchdown was probably high school. They handed it off to me on the 1-yard line. Ran it in, broke a couple tackles.
You didn't have the big kid thing on your helmet, like you can't carry it?
Oh, no. I'm an athlete, baby. We don't do that in Georgia football. We don't do that in Georgia football.
Oh, well, you're gonna talk about this one forever. 26-25 Chiefs win on our new tight end / tackle. What about the strategy of going tackle over tackle, though, and going unbalanced? Because that wasn't the only snap you guys ran it on.
Yeah, the key is just, like, out physical them, put big people on big people and just move that line of scrimmage. And that was the game plan. I feel like we did a good job going in there and doing that.
Now, the other thing is, give credit to Cincinnati. Hendrickson's a dude, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But to get the 3rd and 16 in the 4th and 16, the DPI, what were you thinking at that point?
I'm just thinking, okay, get my hands a little lower and just play to the whistle because you never know. With 15 back there, anything can happen. So I'm just thinking, block my tail off.
And how much is technique in this? I don't think fans realize how precise you have to be. Yeah. How precise, especially against a guy like Hendrickson.
Yeah, with a guy like him who had almost 17.5 sacks last year, you're thinking just get back in my stance, get comfortable, and punch that outside hand. Don't let him get that edge, because once he gets that edge, he's pretty good, as we saw.
You've played at winning programs all your life, going all the way back, right? To win a game like this, though, to win a game and, like, off-the-script recipe, what does it mean for a team moving forward?
Man, it's a gut check, and, it just means we got a thick gut, man. It just means that we're ready for primetime football. And it's going to be like this each and every week. Cincinnati's a really good team, and it's never an easy game to win. So we just think each and every week go in there with that same mentality.
It's out now. No more secrets. The new secret weapon for the Chiefs with the thick six, Wanye Morris. Good job, brother.
Patrick, it's not always pretty, right? I mean, how do you characterize like this entire game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did a lot of good things, but obviously the 3 turnovers just can't happen. The first interception, I got to find the backside linebacker, and I mean the kid made a great play on the second pick. But I'm glad we played not as clean as we wanted to, and still found a way to win. That speaks to the defense and the full entire team. But obviously we got to clean up a lot of stuff on offense as we go forward.
Patrick, what 4th and 16? Just can you explain what it feels like to be in that situation? Just what you're facing, how that is inside, and then obviously the result of the play.
Yeah, no. Obviously they're going to get in that kind of fence defense at the sticks, and so my job is to buy time for guys to get downfield. I was able to do that. As I scrambled to the left, I saw Rasheed open. I knew it was going to be contested, but you got to put the ball up. And Rasheed did a great job of trying to get the ball. I haven't seen the replay or anything, but I felt like the Duquesne was there pretty early, and we got the flag. But I mean, you got to give guys chances in those situations, and that's what we did.
Just mindset-wise, I mean, you've been in so many of these precarious situations before. You have every faith at that moment you'll figure out a way.
100%. I mean, I think until you don't have the time hit zero, I feel like there's a chance that you can win the football game. And obviously we've done that in so many different ways. And so we're prepared. We come in with that mentality that if we get the football with the chance to win the game, we're going to do it. And we were able to do that today.
Patrick, what kind of problems did Trey Hendrickson present for you guys?
I mean, he's just an absolute monster, man. I mean, like, he just, like, his motor, the way he's able to rush the passer. I remember playing him in New Orleans, and he was like that. And he got to Cincinnati, he's been like that. But he did a great job today, man. He's great against the run and the pass. Kind of an underrated guy. But I mean, it was a good test for us, and we'll have to get better for it.
What's kind of the message to Kingsley that you think you'll have over the next couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, just keep playing, man. And they're not always going to have your perfect day. I mean, I didn't have a perfect day today, but just like any other great player, you have to trust in your abilities. You have to learn from it. You have to have that mentality. I'm gonna come and get better this next week. But I have all the trust in the world that he's gonna keep getting better and better, and be a guy that I can really count on every single game.
Last week and this week, what are you seeing from opposing defense and trying to take Travis Kelce?
Yeah, I know they're doing a great job of just kind of having two people for him. I mean, pretty much the entire game. That's why you've seen guys like Rasheed and Worthy. I mean, if you look at the first touchdown, I'm actually looking to Trav, and the backside safety goes all the way across the field to help guard Travis, and then you throw the ball down the sideline to Rasheed, and that's kind of what they've been doing. And obviously, we've played two opponents, so we've played a lot. So they have a plan on how they're going to account for Travis. But as the season goes on, I mean, he's going to get his catches, he's going to get his yards. But the leader that he is what's special is he's hyping everybody up, he's keeping everybody motivated, and that's what you need out of your great players.
Patrick, can you take us through that touchdown to Rasheed?
Yeah, it was a play where I was actually going to look at the right side first. They gave me a kind of a too high type of look, and like I said, I was going to shoot it to Trav down the middle of the field. The backside safety kind of closed in, and that's what got my eyes to Rasheed, and then he won against a great corner. So that's what you want to see. I told y'all, man, he can do a lot of different things, man, and so I'm going to keep giving him opportunities, and he's going to keep making plays.
Patrick, do you notice if he wins off the line of scrimmage on an in-breaking round, especially after last week, that could potentially make some more vertical game with him?
Yeah, I think people obviously saw last week, so they're not gonna let him have those free releases and the short stuff, and he has to be able to show that he can beat people deep, and he was able to do that today. And then we had the holding, but he did again later at the end of the game, and he's a complete receiver, man. He's getting better and better. And he can do it all. I think people see the short stuff and they get enamored by it because it's so special when he catches the ball. But he can catch the ball down the field. He can block. He can do everything it takes to be a great receiver in this league.
I think you're obviously, go ahead.
Take us through the touchdown to one.
Obviously it was a great drive. I mean, running the football, getting downhill, and so they have to bring more and more people in the game, bigger people. And Coach Reed dialed it up at the right time. Wanya had been in a couple plays blocking as that extra lineman, and right when they thought they were just going to shoot and make a play, he released them into the flat. And I mean, if you look at the play, Wanya is open, and I threw it, and Travis was also wide open. So that comes with getting the run game going, man. You get the run game going, and it helps out the entire offense.
Obviously, you have a lot of belief in yourself and this team, but what does it do for a team to win two games the way you guys have won them? So much down to the wire, and kind of reinforce that.
Yeah, it just shows that we can still do it. I mean, those are two great football teams we've played these last 2 weeks, teams that we've played in AFC championship games, and be able to come out with wins at home, that's important. And obviously, we feel like we can get a lot better. And so we're going to clean up the mistakes, especially on the offense. It starts with me, and then we'll be a better team forward as the season goes on. But it'll be a great challenge this next weekend on Sunday Night Football in Atlanta.
Patrick, you're known as the ultimate pressure player. What's going through your mind when you see Harrison go out to get a kick like that?
I'm nervous, but I'm not nervous. So it's like I'm obviously nervous because it's out of my hands. I don't have a chance to go out there and make a play. But at the same time, like when I step on the field on that fourth quarter drive with 2 minutes or whatever it is, and all I need is a field goal, I just really know I got to cross the 50, and Harrison's going to go out there and knock it through. And so it's a special thing to have a kicker like that. And so super appreciative of it. And he's going to keep making them, man.
Yes. I know it didn't count. It was called back because of the penalty on Wanya. But can you talk about the play? It looked like the old days with you and finding Travis on the run and the great play he made with the football.
Yeah, no, he did a great job. I mean, just you got to be able to have that in the offense, being able to scramble and make throws downfield. Obviously, they were doing a good job of when I scrambled of covering the guys and letting me run, but they lost the Trav for a second. I got him the football, and he's like pump faking and stuff. I mean, he's the only person in the league I think can pump fake like 40 yards downfield, but he will throw it. So I mean, they have to respect it. So we'll get it going as the season goes on. I'm sure more of those plays will happen.
You guys did convert a couple fourth downs. They converted fourth downs, but that first drive, how bad did you want to go for it down there?
I always want to go for it. So, but obviously with that drive that we had, Coach Reed sent out the field goal unit, and that's what makes us a great team, man. Like, obviously, I want the offense to be high flying and explosive, but I feel like in years past, like if I played like we played today offensively, we would have lost this game. But we have a great football team. Defense stepped up, made plays. Special teams made plays, and so I'm excited for it. We're not even playing our best football, and we're still getting these wins against great opponents.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Pat.
Chiefs win this 26-25. crazy way to win it. But another way they win it is a 62-yard punt by Matt Araiza at the end of the game, which set up the sequence for the walk-off field goal. How big was that? And the fact that in this game, and you and I watch OTAs and mini camps, that it was Matt Araiza and Ryan Rico that were the punters in this game. What about that whole scenario?
Pretty crazy. For those that don't follow OTAs closely, Ryan Rico was in our camp, was in OTAs. He was with the Chiefs for most of the offseason. Now he's the Bengals punter. We cut him right after mandatory minicamp. He's a really good player, but Matt Araiza is a very good player as well. It's a good thing whenever the returner is backing up, because they didn't anticipate the punt being that deep. 62-yard punt there from Matt Araiza toward the end of the game. That's going to be forgotten in the grand scheme of things, but that gave the Chiefs defense an opportunity to get a stop, get the ball back to the Chiefs, and go win it in the end. Hats off to Matt Araiza for his performance here today.
Yep, you can overlook that really easily. And again, the drama of having Rico on the other sideline after they were battling each other during minicamp and the OTAs. But Harrison Butker, how much can we take him for granted? A 51-yarder to walk it off like no big deal. That thing was down the middle. He has made so many big kicks. He now is in the discussion as the best clutch kicker in NFL history, or one of the best.
Clutch is really the word that comes to mind. Just incredible to feel so confident that he's going to nail, what, a 51-yard field goal to win the game in the end. I mean, most kickers, their knees are shaking on that, but he finds a way to kick it through. It shows the confidence the Chiefs have in him, that they weren't trying to get chunk yards to make it even shorter. It's like, no, Harrison has this at 51 yards, and he came through in the end. Just awesome.
Again, and what I mentioned after I studied the Bengals all week was they're going to try to win this game the way the Raiders beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day a year ago, and that's precisely what they did and almost had it. Not just the Hendrickson pressures, but I want to ask you about how the Chiefs had to be patient in this game and how the running game was there. The running game, for the most part, was effective in this contest for the Chiefs.
Isaiah Pacheco had a nice game here in this one. He rushed 19 times for 90 yards. And really, when the Chiefs were living right, they were running the football consistently in this game. Carson Steele had a pretty nice outing, aside from the fumble he had early in the contest, a couple fourth down conversion runs. So we saw some good things from this rushing game. And the offensive line, in terms of getting a push along the line of scrimmage in the running game, was pretty impressive as well. Again, some things to clean up here in this one, but the running game was certainly a positive, and just finding a way in the end is all that matters.
Let's get more reaction as the Chiefs go to 2-0 on the season.
Harrison, during the 2-minute warning, you were going out, going some rest up in there, just mentally and physically ready in case that scenario happens.
Yeah, I try to check the wind probably every quarter change, and then during the 2-minute, if I know I'm going to be kicking, I need to make sure I've just checked the wind and I know for sure what my plan is. I thought the wind was kind of in the face, left to right in that direction. The Bengals were able to choose in the second half which way they wanted to be kicking for the fourth quarter, and obviously they wanted to kick towards the tunnel. And Evan made a great 53-yarder or whatever it was to go up in that game. But yeah, just making sure I've dotted all my I's, crossed all my T's, and I know which way I want to kick the ball with the wind.
It's amazing at these games between the Bengals and the Chiefs, just always seem to come down to the last minute.
I know they're always very tight, and this game reminded me of the 2022 AFC Championship game. I think it was a 48-yarder right hash kick to win the game as well, go in that same direction.
So when you go into a game like that, I mean, do you any extra preparation because you might expect that?
No, I mean, I expect to have, a lot of kicks every single game. I expect the game to be close and for it to end with a game-winning kick. And I feel like if that's my mentality going into every game, I'll be prepared for whatever comes my way.
Harrison, you have a shortage of game-winning kicks, including playoffs, Super Bowls, things like that. Just what do you feel is the key to staying calm in those moments where the game is on the line, win or loss?
I think I feel like I always say this, but during practice, I try to put a ton of pressure on myself, and Coach Reed and Coach Tobe, they do a great job with that. But if I can make my set of 8 kicks on Wednesdays and Thursdays for a Sunday game feel like game winners, and if I can make my 10 kicks going both ways and pregame warm-up feel like game winners, and when I get to a game-winning moment, nothing different should happen. I shouldn't surprise myself by hitting a bad or a good kick. It should be the exact same. But I think when you are driving down the field for a game-winning kick, I mean, my focus is going to be greater than any other kick that game. I mean, it's hard not to be more dialed in, so I would expect to have a better kick for a game-winning kick, to be more dialed in and locked in for that moment.
How do you actually do that in practice to make it feel like a game-winning kick?
So I know this is getting in the weeds with kicking stuff, but, you know, when you're on the sideline, you're not able to see ball flight, right? You're kicking into a net, you don't know where it's going. So one thing that I changed a couple years ago was I'll finish warming up with the full operation probably 15, 20 minutes before the period. So I'm not kicking a ball for 15, 20 minutes, and I really have to trust it going into that period. And then mentally, I just try to put a lot of pressure on myself, you know. And then again, when you have Coach Reed standing behind you for every single kick, and we don't have music during that period, so the whole team's watching, it's kind of awkward silence, and it's just you, and are you making your kicks or not? And there's nowhere to hide. And, you know, I think that prepares me really well for game days.
How close were you guys to actually trying the 68-yarder?
Yeah. I don't know, you know, when we had that situation, I just ran on the field, and I think Coach Tobe looked at me a little confused, and then he looked at Coach Reed. He was like, "You want to kick it?" But I think I was just trying to sway their minds to kick the field goal. But when you think about it, there's 24 seconds left on the clock, so
maybe give it a shot.
Correct. Because if you miss that kick, they have, say, 20 seconds to get a first down or two, and then they're in field goal range.
So, in the adrenaline, you got 75,000 people who are breathless in a stadium. That you can't replicate that during practice, right? So,
yeah.
And the adrenaline and all that goes into it. I mean, do you allow yourself to feed off that energy, or do you try to block it out and kind of control it? I mean,
I think I try to block it out. It's hard not to feed off of it, but I try to block it out. I mean, what I don't like is when you're trotting on that field and the whole stadium's clapping, you're like, the game's not won yet, you know, I still got to make this. They're like, oh, yeah, okay, Harrison, he'll go make this kick. The offense did a great job getting him in position, but it's not a gimme. And that's one thing that I've really worked on is making every kick a big kick. So even if it's, say we have a great touchdown and the whole stadium is erupting and they're applauding and they're happy, I really got to get in the zone for that extra point and convince myself that it's a game-winning kick, because if I don't, I'm going to feed off the energy. I'll be relaxed. Oh, we're going to make the extra point, and then you're not dialed in, and, you know, ideally you make it, but you might miss it. So I try to be locked in as best I can. Yeah, it's tough when everyone's clapping, like, you know, you're good to go. But again, when it is a game-winning kick, my focus is going to be locked in, and I'll talk a little bit more about practice and how I put pressure on myself. It's easy as a kicker in practice. You're messing around, you're thinking about other things when you're kicking, but if I can go through my mental cues that I do when it's a game-winning kick, then that's just going to give me more practice. So if you're going up for a game-winning kick and the crowd's cheering, 75,000, you sort of think about that, you know, like, well, what if I make this? What if I miss it? You know, you're not thinking about what you can control. So I just talk to myself for game-winning kicks to block out any of the pressure, and that's what I do in practice, and for extra points, for all of them, I'm talking to myself and kind of trying to block out pressure that might not even be there in practice.
You actually got a couple of fun kickoffs today, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. You know, I was pumped up for the first kick that we had that they covered. We got them, I think, to the 24-yard line. It's a lot of fun. It's just risky because I can hit some good balls that are, you know, sub 3-second hang times that get on the ground. But if you mishit it a little bit and it doesn't land in the landing zone, then you feel like you missed a field goal, and then they're starting on the 40-yard line. That first kickoff barely went in the end zone. You know, if it was probably 2 yards farther to the right, that would have been flag out of bounds, 40-yard line. But I don't know, the new kickoffs, they feel like field goals to me now. You know, either make it or you miss it. But hopefully we'll get more returns because that makes the game a lot more fun.
Is the absolute best feeling in the world to kick a game-winning field goal when time's expired? You don't have to worry about the other team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, game's over.
Okay, thanks, Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Playing to the whistle. Jamari Connor will give a seminar on that. Let's go through the scoop and score. What happened on that play, and you staying alert and playing all the way to the end of the play.
Yeah, just like you said, playing through the whistles. You know, we was in coverage. I seen the quarterback running around. The D lineman, they made a great play on the ball. I just seen the ball bounce on the ground, so I just had to go scoop it. I kind of thought they was going to call it back. I was unsure, but, you know, always take it to the end zone, play through the whistle. Yeah.
What about defensively in this game? They were using a lot of short stuff. We saw that on video, and a lot of tight ends. So how much did you guys have to adjust to that?
You know, through the game, we definitely had to make adjustments to, you know, slow those guys down and match what they were doing. But I feel like we had a pretty good game, making the adjustments, coming back out to play.
Oh, and the sack, the blitz call. What were you thinking when you got that call?
I just knew I had a layup, coach dialed it up. I knew I couldn't miss it. So once I seen the quarterback just sitting there, I knew I had to hurry up and go get him down.
Now, let me ask you about this, because to hear that call and not to get over anxious and let Burrow know you're coming. So walk us through that. You get the call of like, okay, this is me, like a gap, but what do you have to do not to tip it off?
You got to stay calm. You got to be patient. Let the snap count run down. You got to try to disguise it, show a different defense, then hit it on the go.
And you hit it, man, fast. How much have you worked on that since you've come here?
A lot of work. Coach Baz always take me one-on-one and do some blitz and drills. So, a lot of work on that.
And to win a game like this, where she's 1 of 8 on 3rd down, but to get a win like this, how gritty was it, and what does it mean for this team moving forward?
It was a great challenge for us. We just got to – it's something that we can build off. We keep going, and we know that we didn't play the perfect game, but we know what we have to work on. So,
hey, he played at Virginia Tech, the lunch pail defense. How much have you brought the lunch pail defense to the NFL?
I try to bring it everywhere I go, my everyday life. Just always having that lunch pail mentality of, hard work and, just being consistent and making plays.
Sometimes you take the lunch pail to the end zone. A scoop and score. Shamari Connor. The Chiefs win it 26-25. Crazy. A walk-off 51-yard field goal, scoop and score. 1 and 8 on 3rd down, still win the game. But you know what? I'm really proud of Patrick Mahomes. I just saw him and told him that because, again, this is very much like 2023. 1 of 8 on 3rd down. But Patrick made plays in this game. And it was a grind it out, gut it out, had to be patient. The 44-yarder to Rice was superb. But he had to grind this game out.
That's why he's the ultimate gamer, ultimate MVP in this league. The numbers aren't always going to be perfect. This isn't fantasy football or Madden, but he doesn't care about that in the end. And Coach Reed has so much faith in him and confidence in him. He's going to find a way to get it done in the end. You're right, that 44-yarder to Rashee Rice early in the game. Talk about a dot. That was unbelievable. We haven't seen that in the Chiefs offense for a couple of years, and that is back. But at the very end, to find a way to win it, no mistakes at the very end from the quarterback position. He's like, we're going to find a way to give Harrison Butker an opportunity to win this game. That's why he's the MVP of the NFL every single season.
Here's some fun things about Pat. He got 100 and 101-yard touchdown passes at GHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Winning this game, he's now 37-11 at home. He's 37-11 away. And his September, only Roger Staubach has more September wins than Patrick Mahomes.
I also believe he just tied Tom Brady for the most wins through 100 career regular season games in NFL history. So enjoy this, Chiefs Kingdom. You're watching one of the greatest of all time, and he's in your favorite team's uniform.
Chiefs win it 26-25. Now, what does this mean? I'm going to talk about this a second. Now, the Bengals, they start 0-2 again. That is 1-11 in the 6 years under Zach Taylor. And I like Zach, love his family, Butler Community College Grizzly. I was just down there Thursday night. That is the worst by a head coach in 55 seasons in that span. And Burrow now goes to 1-9 in such circumstances. Only Josh McCown is worse in the history of the league at 0-10. So, and a 12% chance of making the playoffs at 0-2. The Chiefs have a 64% chance at 2-0. That just tells you how big this game was.
And it shows how important it was for Cincinnati. Just kind of like last week with Baltimore, they kind of treated it like a playoff game where they were throwing everything at us. Cincinnati really wanted to win this football game for all of the reasons that you're saying. So for the Chiefs to find a way, despite that, says everything about this Kansas City team.
And they go back to the primetime stage next week. Atlanta will have a short week. They play tomorrow night on the road at Philadelphia, but the Chiefs will play Sunday Night Football at Atlanta.
And we'll dig into the Falcons tomorrow, but let's enjoy this for now. When the schedule came out, we were like, man, we're starting with the Ravens and the Bengals. That's tough, but what a great opportunity to start the season maybe 2-0 against two of the best teams in the AFC. Well, what do you know? We're standing here talking about victories over Baltimore and Cincinnati. Let's get ready for Atlanta, but I'm going to enjoy this one tonight.
The AFC Championship game opponents in 23, 22, 21 were these two teams. The Chiefs are 2-0. Take it, run with it, and get ready for Atlanta. He is Matt McMullen. I'm Mitch Holthus. It doesn't matter how you win. Find a way to win.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by CommunityAmerica Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.